Boom, here we are.
Welcome back, Mitch.
Welcome, Keith.
What a week.
I had a great week.
You did have a great week.
I was on vacation.
You were on vacation.
How was your week? Tell me all about it.
It was pretty good. Did
you miss me?
I did.
I missed you too. You're the only person I texted from.
I feel special. I feel like I just kind of sat here. I didn't feel good Monday.
Because I wasn't here.
Yeah, it was like really weird. And then Tuesday, and then don't let me forget to tell you about totally slipped in the parking lot on Monday.
What?
Yeah, it was a little icy out. So I'm glad you missed that.
We could have talked about that.
We could have talked about that.
We didn't get to podcast because I was gone.
You were gone. So
and that's why you were so sad. I wasn't here.
Yeah, I was very sad. I slipped. I was sad about that. I was sad that you weren't here to talk about it. And then the school got canceled again that week, so I was really sad about that. The kids had to stay at home with me for a day. But other than that, it was great. The weather's nice out now.
It is.
It's very nice out.
I put on a baseball shirt. It says
you did.
Baseball.
I got shorts on and a short sleeve shirt. It's going to be up to almost 60 degrees today.
It's going to make it to 50, I hear.
I think the high is 58. So, yeah.
Wow.
It's going to be great. I'm going to, after I pick up my middle schooler, I'm going to go get the car washed and clean it out really good.
And tomorrow, $10 Tuesday?
I've got one of those unlimited pass things.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we normally go like 3 times a week. But I'm going to get the car washed. Then I'm going to get those mats. You know, all that salt off the mats. That's like the thing you got to do. So, yeah, I'm going to clean out the car and, wait for the elementary school kiddo to come home and then start making dinner, listening to the news or some music. I don't know.
I'm going to baseball practice.
Are you?
2 of them.
Good. Not outdoor, hopefully, right?
Indoor.
It's pretty nice out. I guess it's still a little wet.
It's going to be pretty soggy for a long time.
Yeah, that's probably accurate.
Frost heaving out of the ground.
Frost heaving out of the ground. Yeah. Like Mount Frostsuvius.
Yes, that's right. It's just, I don't know. That's what happens. The frost in the ground, and then it comes out.
Yeah. Here's the real question. Do you think we're going to have a second winter?
Keith.
Or do you think it's done?
It's, what's today, February 29th?
No. It's
January 29th.
Yeah.
We're 2 days away from Groundhog
February.
Day.
I know.
I don't know.
Dude, I'm telling you. We ought to look up. I remember years and years and years ago the accuracy of Punxsutawney Phil, and it was pretty high, if I remember right. But I don't know how he's done in the recent years. But I always feel like when it is this warm, this soon, we're going to get like a blizzard in March, early April. So
there's a very high probability I will watch the Bill Murray film, Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day. Man, what a great film. What a great film. Do you ever feel like sometimes like you get that deja vu feel where you're like, have I done this day before? Yeah. I do a lot. I've told you a couple times when it's happened and your response was, "Oh, sorry." Like it's your fault.
Yeah, I always. It's like,
oh, I'm sorry.
It's a major difference between you and I. I apologize. You don't.
Never. Yeah. Can't show weakness.
I show weakness all the time. I had a great. How was the
vacay?
Well, it's great. I have a great anecdotal story. Anecdotal.
Okay.
A story that will cure your disease.
Yes. More cowbell.
No, I was about, my apologeticness or over apologeticness or apologizing for things I shouldn't apologize for or apologizing for things that don't need apologies. Mm-hmm. You see as a weakness. I practice it as a strength. So I had a lot of trouble checking in for my flight.
Okay.
Right? And it was very frustrating. Couldn't do it on the computer. Couldn't do it on the
Is this
app.
on the way home?
Mm-mm.
On the way there?
Way out.
Okay.
You got to check in ahead of time and all that. And flying Southwest, not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
But they should be if they want us to podcast from tropical locations.
As long as they make us A1 and A2.
or anything
for boarding.
Anything below a B, I'd be happy with. So I call. I call and I was just apologetic.
You're like, I'm so sorry,
Yeah.
I can't seem to get this thing to work.
Yeah.
Can you please log me in?
Very apologetic and just apologize for. And anyway, when I was pretty certain the problem was on their end, but I took full responsibility for it. Crystal took care of it.
Oh, thanks, Crystal.
She did great. She took care of it.
She got you logged in.
Yeah, this was like 3 hours after the 24-hour window, right? We're like 21 hours to take. To
What was your number?
A29 and 30.
Ha! Look at that. Was it plain full?
Yeah, chock-a-block full.
Really?
Way to go, Crystal.
Way to go, Crystal. The world needs more crystals.
But if I would have called in and blamed Crystal, I don't know that I would have got checked in.
I will confirm your suspicion that had you called me and started blaming me for not being able to check in, I would probably not have checked you in.
Yeah. So see?
Or at least put you on hold for a good 20 minutes before I did.
C 59 and 60.
Well, very good. Very good. So we're continuing our series, What's Next? And talking about as we go through life, we get hit sometimes with some challenging situations or challenging moments in our life, and we look at what's next. What can we do, in that moment? And so this week we're looking at what's next after changing careers.
Ooh.
You and I have done a couple major career changes in our world, in our existence, and we know people that have done, pretty significant career changes. And I would also add to that, it's not just necessarily changing career within working, but I would also look at, students that are graduating from college to entering the workforce. That's a big change in career, from studying to now producing, right? And
with that too, it'd be kind of like transitioning from because a lot of students have jobs, but probably not full-time employment.
Sure.
Right?
Yep.
That transition from...
Or they have a college full-time job that's not something that they want to do for 40 years, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's a big part of it, transitioning from, the 20-hour week to the 40-hour week or whatever.
Yeah, my just as a funny side story, my aunt, when her kids, my cousins, graduated, one of them worked at the same company that I worked in, and not within his degree or whatever, but worked there for a couple of years before he could land something in his field. And when he got the role or whatever, she was like, "Oh, finally he got his big boy job." And then she looked over at me and with his face, "Oh, sorry, Keith." Because I was working there, right? Not in the same job, but I was working there, and I was like, you know what? Pays for my car, pays for my house, pays for my family, works for me.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I thought that was funny. Big boy jobs.
I'm still waiting to land one.
Me too. And then I would also say, if you've been in the workforce and you're heading into retirement, that's a big change too. So it's not just necessarily like, we're not really looking at life milestones per se, but we're really looking at a big change in career, what you're doing day to day, right? When your day to day kind of significantly changes, what do you do? Maybe you're a stay-at-home mom and you're re-entering the workforce. That's a big career change, right? All those kinds of things. So
I did that one.
You were a stay-at-home mom?
I was a stay-at-home dad.
Yeah, see, there you go.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I called you a mom. Sorry.
Well, it's a stay-at-home parent, at-home parent.
Stay-at-home parent. Do you know what's weird?
The acronym for stay-at-home dad, SAD. That's what's weird. Try to say
Stay at home dad.
SAHD. Try to say it and put
Sahad.
You try right. It's
Sahad.
It's just sad. Sad.
They have stay-at-home girlfriends now, stay-at-home boyfriends.
What?
Yeah, there's no kids involved. They're like,
oh, those are just called dependents.
well, I was gonna say they're called maids, like a housekeeper that just lives in the house,
Oh,
but they're like girlfriends or boyfriends.
Okay, all right, sorry.
So they just take care of the house all day, but they are the significant other.
There you go.
There's just no kids, but they just take care of the house.
It's a domestic.
Yeah, I just thought that was interesting. I never heard of it before, but I heard about it last week.
I think
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it.
No, I'm saying it's probably.
I'm just saying, I just thought that was interesting.
What's interesting is probably a cultural norm within when we had early age marriage rates.
Mm-hmm.
There were usually a time between married and becoming parents.
Yeah, I could see that.
When culture was predominantly single income, single unit families.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, you see examples of that in the Bible of people that are married and don't have kids and blah blah blah, right? Yeah. So yeah, you can see that. Okay.
Also a sweet gig.
I would say it's definitely a sweet gig.
But I enjoy all the domestic aspects of life, and I know some people don't.
Yeah.
Something cathartic about cleaning. You like to angry clean, so that's not exactly great.
I do like pressure washing.
You do? That's weird.
Did we talk about this? I love me some pressure washing.
It's terrible.
Something from dirty to clean. It's like a house. When you get done cleaning a room, you're like, look at this room. This is clean. I did this. Anyway.
I only power wash in the rain. Fun fact.
So, my first question to you is thinking about, a lot in our society today, what you do for a career is really what defines you, right? You meet somebody new, you're at a party. Hey, one of the first icebreaker questions. Well, what do you do? What do you do, Mitch? Right? And really, our parents, I don't want to say judge us, but our parents want us to get a good career and a good job. They don't really care how we feel in the job, right? Like if we feel we're making a difference, they're like, great, how much does it pay, right? So there's a lot of that societal pressure to make more money, to be more successful in your career, to have a more respectable career, like a doctor.
Love the air quotes. Yeah.
Yep. So how do you reconcile that societal influence on career with this more biblical perspective or more rooted in the Bible perspective of doing something, making sure that you're doing something with your time that glorifies God and His plan?
Yeah, I think it's a perspective of, I don't want to tread lightly here because I've always felt like I don't want to end up with an occupation that defines me. I want to be defined as a uniquely created child of God who made for a purpose. And that purpose could be a professional power washer, right? Or a landscaper, or a house cleaner, or a dad, or any one of those things in combination.
Sure.
But I also recognize that I have that perspective also coming from, I've never put in half my life training or something to live into or to become something that our society holds in such high esteem, right?
Yeah. I really look at it from the perspective of, instead of looking at what you're doing, you should be looking at where you're at right? I'll try to explain this easy. So instead of looking at, oh, I'm a doctor, or I'm this, or I'm that, right? I'm the what. It's really, where has God placed me? Where does God want me to go? Where does God want me to do? Because where I'm at, or where I need to be, is what God needs me to be in that moment to affect His plan of the people around me. So it's less of a what and more of a where to me. That matters the most. And so I think that, like when you're seeking to understand, because we don't know God's plan. We don't know God's plan for us, right? But I think sometimes we get too caught up in the conversation of, oh, should I be a doctor or a lawyer? Well, that's a lot of what versus where God is taking you to, right? The pushing and the pulling, and where is He pointing you to go versus the what. I think that sounded all right.
Yeah, it sounded good.
Okay, all right, good. High five.
Unless you're that one guy on the billboard who is the doctor and the lawyer and the surgeon.
And the
right?
Yeah. You could trust me because I was a board certified doctor. Now I'm a lawyer. It's like, whoa, dude, could you
impressive
save some schooling for the rest of us?
Man.
Like, could you imagine? So, just a real quick Bible quote, because it's on the back. Look at that. I don't have to look it up. So James 4:13-15, it's kind of our verses that we're looking at. Feel free.
Now listen, you who say, today or tomorrow we will go to this or that city, spend a year there, carry on business, and make money. Why, you do not even know what will happen tomorrow. What is your life? You are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes. Instead, you ought to say, if it is the Lord's will, we will live and do this or that. I think that's where you were driving at.
Yeah, that's where I was driving at. And in that kind of section of it, James 4:14, which is, why do you not even know what will happen tomorrow, right? Well, like, why are you doing this? You won't even know what's going to happen tomorrow. Yeah. What is your life? You are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes, right? Kind of harsh when I first read it.
Well, and I think it all depends on certain, and I come back to personality stuff all the time, but certain personalities, this Bible verse speaks more to than others, and others are just offended by it, right?
Yeah.
Like, some people who read this are the people who only buy one banana, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the bunch of bananas,
they don't know if they want a banana the next day.
I don't know if what they're going to mature. Like, I want my banana to be this specific ripeness. I need to select the one that is of that ripeness right now. I don't like brown bananas, so I just buy green bananas one at a time, right? There's a personality type like that out there.
Yeah.
And then there's the other side who's planning that, well, I'm going to eat the most yellow banana of this bunch of bananas every day for 5 days.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pick the bunch of bananas with 5 bananas with the best gradation of yellow to green. Right? There's those two. Somebody's a planner. Who's like...
Somebody planned out the week's meals, and they know what they're going to have every day.
Prepped them. Already cut the chicken.
And then there's people that every night are, what are we going to have for dinner?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I find it interesting that,
and I want to know that both are fine. It's okay. I love and respect people of both camps.
I don't see a problem with either one of those. Just if the problem occurs is when you have a planner and a not planner together.
No, they work out great.
Then it can cause issues. Or if you have double planners, that can cause a lot of issues. Anyway. So you are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes. I mean, accurate. In the grand scheme of things, right? I like to look at it. I like to relate it to dinosaurs, right?
Okay.
We can look back and say, yeah, they were dinosaurs, but we don't know all their names and what they did all day, right? Like, so for the grand scheme of things, the history books 2,000 years from now will have a little bit of information about the 1990s to 2020s, right? But like beyond that, the Mitch won't be in it. No one's gonna really remember, or so your influence may still be around, but you and who you are, you're just around for a little while compared to this whole world. And so some people might find that comforting in a way.
Doesn't bother me. Other people might be frightened by it.
Yeah. I think...
and then some people make it their life's work and ambition to make sure they're not.
Yeah. I think that's where I struggle with it, right? Which is... me, I don't mind... I don't mind sulking away into oblivion. Sulking.
I don't think that's it.
I don't think that's it. I might sulk though.
You might, but you're
disappearing into thin air, right?
The atomization of your mistiness.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I think what I look at is the people that are just bound and determined to, I don't want to say make something of themselves or be impactful, or, they want to be in the history books, right? Like, I just want to be known for something, you know? And it's like, that's such a scary proposition, because you can be known for good or not good, right? And I think that as a society, we run into a lot of problems when people want to be seen and known, but they can't seem to do it for good reasons, right? Like, I don't think Mother Teresa came out and was like, I'm going to do all these great things so I'm seen and known.
Yeah, that's not accurate.
Right, you know what I mean? Like,
the interesting part of our culture and society, too, is as times change, we have to change with them. But one of the leading career proclamations out of middle schoolers is influencer.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
YouTuber and influencer, social media influencer.
Yeah.
Which is kind of built on that concept of being known and recognized for
being known and recognized
for influential thought.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of human nature in that. It's just I'm not going to say easier.
It's just another avenue. When we were kids, we would hit a baseball acting like George Brett trying to hit a home run.
Yeah, my first major career change happened at 13 when I realized I wasn't going to play professional ball.
See, but I mean, we had our own heroes or people that influenced us, right? They were just sports, or they were, people around us, firefighters, policemen, people that were in our orbit that we could see and be like, oh, I want to be like that person, or whatever. But a lot of it's still rooted in the same thing. Somebody known for hitting a baseball and thousands of people cheering that person on. I want to be like that person, not because I want to hit a baseball, because I want thousands of people cheering me on, right? That same kind of...
No,
maybe not you. Different. Maybe that's not you.
That's
I'm just saying, like, oh, you just wanted to hit a baseball, and then you found out you couldn't. You can hit a baseball.
Yeah, it's just not well enough to make a living out of
it. Okay. Well, I mean, accurate.
That's yeah.
I will say this, just my personal opinion. If you're going to do any kind of professional sport for longevity, it's either baseball or soccer, I think. Because you can play them. You can play them a lot longer than foot. The average career. Oh, sorry, I forgot about golf.
Forgot about golf.
Yeah, sorry.
There's even the senior
tennis too. Yeah. All right. Golf. Okay. You should learn how to play golf.
Miniature golf, really.
You got time.
There's way less.
Dude, do you think somehow we could figure out a way to get miniature golf to be like the big thing now?
Oh yeah.
And like, what's the tennis sport now everybody's playing? Pickleball. Okay, sorry, it escaped me.
Yeah, it'd be the same.
It'd be the same. It'd be like the miniature golf to golf, pickleball to tennis.
Yeah.
Right? But pickleball is way more popular than tennis.
Exactly.
Miniature golf could be astronomically more popular than people watching golf.
I didn't know it wasn't.
Dude, how do we figure this out? We need to have a different podcast figuring out how in the heck we can influence everybody into some miniature golf tournaments.
I just think you just need to have more eye-opening conversations with people, because you need to look somebody right in the eye and say, can you honestly look me in the eye and tell me that golf is more fun than miniature golf? And I don't think anybody's going to be able to. It's indisputable.
Indisputable.
But you know what?
What?
It's the cart industry.
It's the cart. Oh,
see, the lobbyists, they take you out.
What if we could make the miniature golf course in such a way that it was big enough you needed a cart?
Okay.
Then you're not worried about that or concessions either.
Yeah.
Because you got to stop every 4 or 5 holes, get a hot dog or something. What about you need to make it a little dirty too, so the ball wash station manufacturer still exists and everything. Okay, we just have to figure out how to add the little the tees, because that's a big manufacturing, all those little tees when you tee off in golf, because you're gonna break most of them. So we got to figure that out, how we can appease the tee manufacturer, the tee off. I don't know if they call tees. Anyway,
all right.
Well, look at that, we're running out of time.
I know, but I've had a great conversation.
I've had a great conversation. So I think that we'll wrap it up with one thought and one question for you, which is, I think you would agree that, we're talking about how a lot of times society defines us by our work, right? And that in reality, what we're saying is that your worth is way more than your work, right? Like your worth as a person is way more than what you do for a living, right? Would you agree to that? So with that being said, how can you really refocus your mind and your energy into not only yourself feeling that way, but also seeing others that way too? Like, how do we break that cycle of other people seeing their worth by what they do instead of just who they are as a person? How do you do that, and how do you influence people around you to do that?
I think the my closing thought on it would be, if someone's struggling with some of this, I'd encourage them to look at what they're able to do to help someone else. And if I can bring it back to my airline helper that fielded my customer service call, right? I imagine she enjoyed the opportunity to help me because I created a situation. I navigated a situation in the way that I wasn't demanding corrective action. I was asking for help. And I'm a believer that people at our core like to help others. We like to provide help. So if you can look at your worth, your inherent worth in the eyes of God, and start trying to project that onto your perception of others, that they have this inherent worth as a child of God, and you look for opportunities to help them, and then you take opportunities to receive help, I think it can reshape reshape and re-level that playing field of who we all are. Because I think that's really what we're looking at is in the comparison loop, is to re-level,
yeah,
a societal projected hierarchy of worth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and that's what we're really looking to do is help change our perspective to everyone has the same worth and value, regardless of what their occupation is.
Yep. Perfect. That's it. Look at that.
Boom.
Out of time.
So you agree?
I agree.
You concur?
I concur.
A concurring Keith.
Yeah. If these kids these days
unapologetically agreeing,
instead of trying to make their TikTok videos to influence other people, they ought to realize that they're already influencers, and they influence their friends and their family and everyone around them daily. And so, what kind of influencer do they want to be? Do they want to be the influencer that helps sell somebody a product, or do they want to be the influencer that helps change the world? That's it.
All right.
Thanks,
guys.
We'll see you next week.